episode of That's Healthy, right? Where we make sense of the news so you don't have to. Hello?
Hello?
I think Jordan's about to leave right now. I think it's a good thing.
Not yet.
Okay.
Why were you touching my face?
Why? You're not allowed to?
I mean, you can.
I mean, I don't know. I missed you. Figured why not? Traveling man. Sort of.
Not really. I haven't gone anywhere forever. I'm landlocked.
Finally back in the brick paradise, though.
I am finally back in the brick paradise. We're starting to come back.
Yeah.
Comeback of life. I hurt though right now. I hurt everywhere. I feel like I lifted for the first time because I kind of lifted for the first time in like 40 days and it hurts. It's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting back in.
It's what we do.
Where's it hurt?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
Face too.
Now it does.
Yeah, it's
You
killing
touched
me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I set you up from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Started by touching your face. That's where I wanted to go with that joke.
Right, and then you
Literally 3 minutes.
took me
into this
down a
video.
path.
Yeah.
And then you were like, your face
Baited all
hurts
the
me.
viewers, everything.
You all left by now, probably.
It's wondering what the hell's going on.
So,
But what we'll do.
What do we have in the news?
Yeah,
What do
we
have in
will
the
get
news?
to the point now. Okay.
Which is my face hurts you.
So we, at this point, viewers as well, at least I definitely know that you love eggs.
I
You
do.
love umbrellas in your drink, and when you do drink beer, it's from a boot.
Yes.
Okay?
I might be the most interesting man in the world.
It's true. And I, on the other hand, I'm more of a man's man. Okay? I like meat.
Okay.
Protein. A lot of protein.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I walked right into that. So I was reading from Men's Fitness and came across an article that was discussing, and the title was discussing 13 negative side effects of not getting enough protein.
Okay.
So instantly I'm hooked, right? I always want to justify to people why I'm eating so much protein.
Right. Usually you should just flex though.
I would like to, but it's cold. I gotta wear multiple layers. It's just it's a bad time of year.
Right.
But in the intro, it wasn't even so much the actual 13 negative side effects, which in general just eat a lot of protein, whether it's tofu or whatever. Jordan Mazur, director of sports nutrition at Cal Berkeley, talks about how most people can only absorb 35 to 40 grams of protein per meal. And that I'm fine with. However, he says that any more than that, your body cannot use. It cannot use it to build or repair muscles. So any extra protein will then be converted and stored as fat. Yes.
We were okay.
Yeah, that's what I said too.
Same
Because
reaction?
it was, and now it led me to believe. I'm trying to wonder: is that why I'm not 5% body fat? And or is there any, do you agree with what he's saying? And that anything over, if you go above 40 grams of protein, plus or minus 5 to 10, depending on your body size, will be converted to strictly fat.
You're not 5% body fat because you don't want to be 5% body fat. That's way too low. It's hard to maintain. It messes with your head. Again, if you're a competitor and you can get down to 5% body fat, more power to you. Walking around at 5% is a huge stress, so that's not even your goal, let's be honest.
Right.
But you eating more than 35 to 40 grams of protein per serving is also not the reason that you're not 5% body fat, because all of that additional protein, when you down your 60 grams of chicken at lunch every day, it's not going to fat. The body does not work in a way where if it's not used for building muscle, it's used for, building fat. It's just, that's a far too simplistic way that builds in fear into how you eat and pushes you away from very good foods. So what that research, which started on a really, really good path, was on this idea that we do have a maximum threshold of where we maximize muscle protein synthesis. So this idea when you building muscle is a matter of, maximizing muscle protein synthesis and slowing muscle protein breakdown. So it's synthesizing the protein in your body, it's, slowing down breakdown. So and both of these will help with recovery. Now, you'll see research, and the numbers will vary. Anywhere between 20 to 40 grams is where we maximize muscle protein synthesis. But anything above that doesn't mean it's being spilled over into fat. As we've talked about many times, the nutrients that you will get from food is a matter of micronutrients, what's going to be helpful for you. It's a matter of building muscle. It's a matter of the calories that you need in your diet. There are so many processes in the body, not to mention protein is used for many purposes. Protein, the amino acids, is good for your hair, it's good for your skin, it's good for your nails, it's good for longevity, it's good for keeping you full so you don't overeat. So maybe you're having a little more protein so that you don't wander over to the dessert bar, if you have a dessert bar. In my mind, everyone has a dessert bar. and take all the desserts off there. So while the 35 to 40 grams might be maximizing muscle protein synthesis, it doesn't mean that there aren't other benefits to taking in that protein. So protein isn't all about building muscle. And that's where we go wrong. You get plenty of women who will be afraid of protein because, they don't want to look like a man, so they're worried, I'm just going to get bulky. But the benefit of protein goes far beyond just muscle. And that's the main message here, that it's fine to say, hey, the more than 35 to 40 grams of protein won't help you for muscle, but there are other benefits to having high protein in your diet, not to mention that protein is more metabolically active. Anywhere between 25 to 30% of the calories from protein that you will eat will be metabolized. And you can compare that to anywhere between 4 to 10% for carbohydrates or fats. So if you're trying to take in more calories or you need to feel more full, eating a little more protein in your diet is going to be great because one, it will leave you fuller, and two, more of that protein will be metabolized. So this idea that you should just not eat more than 30 or 40 grams because you're afraid that it's going to turn into fat is not true. If you want to cut yourself off at 35 to 40 grams, that's great. No problem. Or even at 20 grams. We try to usually say about 15 to 20 grams with any meal or snack should be the minimum amount. So you don't have to eat more than that, but if you do, you shouldn't be fearful that it's going to spill over into body fat.
Which is good to know, especially from the standpoint of, I'm somebody, it would just drive me insane if I had to eat 7 meals in a day in those small quantities. I'm somebody I need 3 to 4 meals larger size.
Right.
But in order to do that, especially what I'm trying to shoot for protein wise, I'm definitely going to have to go over 30, 40 grams of protein in my serving size.
Which is the practical part of it.
Exactly.
Some people want 2 meals, some people want 6 meals, and the amount of meals that you want per day because it feels right is going to influence how much protein that you should have per meal. And that's the most important thing. Create a diet that is practical for you, and don't be arbitrarily avoiding protein or eating less when you know it's good for your body because you're worried that it's going to spill over into body fat. It doesn't work that simple. It's the same idea of being hey, we have a maximum threshold for vegetables. So if you eat too many vegetables, you're just going to become fat. It's the same thing. It's apples to apples. Calories are calories, whether they're from proteins, whether from carbs, whether from fats. And you have to eat more calories, significantly more than you are burning over the course of the day in order for it to turn into fat. So imagine if you just ate protein during the day, which we wouldn't recommend, and you ate 200 grams of protein and that was it. Because you took in more than those 30 grams, are you suddenly going to turn over into body fat, even though that if you only had 200 grams protein per day, that would be 800 calories. So if you're on a diet of 800 calories per day, but you're going over that protein threshold, is it really going to turn into fat? Of course not. The logic doesn't even make sense, so that's why these scare tactics are just, it's awful. It's fine to cut yourself off at a certain level. It's not okay if you're cutting yourself off because you are arbitrarily believing that that's what's going to make you fat. And
along those same lines, when it comes to scare tactics and eliminating certain foods,
we hate them, scare tactics.
I came across another article. This one actually happened to be from Women's Health. And
fine publication.
Fine publication. I know you know it well.
Well, know the people there, great editors.
Yep. But
They probably don't watch them.
they did come out with something, and it was called 5 foods you should stop eating right before bed if you want to lose weight.
Okay.
Now this was a little bit deceiving because obviously they kind of hook, line, sinker you with the lose weight portion. However, they recommend that you eliminate dark chocolate, coconut oil, goat cheese, spicy salsa.
Love eating that right before bed.
Right? Yeah, I was
Just
thinking
like
about that
a
too.
spoonful of salsa.
Red wine, which I think would raise a lot of red flags. I mean, generally, you have wine and
I keep a glass of wine next to my bed every night.
next to the salsa.
Right.
And baked goods. Now, I say it was a little bit deceiving in the fact that what they were trying to say is in majority of those, it all came down to sugars, basically eating sugars before bed. However, in the case of like salsa or red wine, it was basically because it disturbed your sleep. And therefore,
Interesting.
yeah, like for spicy salsa, it was acid reflux. Therefore, you're not going to sleep well. Therefore, your performance in the gym is going to have blah, 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 so on and so forth.
Okay.
But the underlying theme, it all led back though to the need to eliminate those foods before bed so it will not hinder your progress in the gym.
Okay. So anything that you eat that disrupts your sleep could be considered something that's bad for weight loss. Simply because I think good sleep hygiene, good rest is one of the best ways to help with weight loss. When you are sleep deprived or have low quality sleep, it can have a big impact from a hormonal standpoint and from a behavioral standpoint on weight loss. Because if sleep is disrupted, it can affect the hormones that will make you crave bad foods or be hungrier during the day. So it's not like not sleeping is going to directly make you fat, but it will indirectly affect your behaviors that might cause you to eat more food or crave more of the foods that can help you or cause you to put on weight. The idea, though, that you need to avoid any certain food after a certain time or before a certain time just doesn't make sense. There's nothing wrong with eating dark chocolate or salsa or drinking wine or any of those. None of those are directly going to make you fat ever. So, I can have salsa before I go to sleep, but it's not going to keep me up. So I'm going to keep on chugging my salsa before I go to bed. Same with the red wine. Now, a glass of red wine is different than having an entire bottle, because if you do get drunk, a lot of people view that that's going to help you sleep, but it actually is more likely to wake you up during the course of the night or wake you up prematurely. But that's just the threshold of having too much to drink. Dark chocolate, there are plenty of people who talk all the time about the benefits of dark chocolate. We talked last episode that we do not need to avoid sugar completely, and sugar at morning versus sugar at night. There is, to quote, Alan Aragon, who loves to say there are no nighttime insulin fairies that suddenly will take the carbohydrates at night as opposed to the day, and because you have them at night, we will cast a spell and turn those sugars into fat. This idea that because you're less active at the end of the day than before, that you can't have carbohydrates or you can't eat after 7 p.m., it's going to make you fat, that does not exist. We've talked about this a million times because that fear is within people. So if certain foods cause disruption for sleep, that's a great point, because that can cause weight loss struggles. But the food itself is not inherently going to make someone fat.
Got it. All right. Well,
You feel better than you can have your nighttime salsa now, right?
Not only that, I can have my dark chocolate.
Oh my god, delicious.
Because I like to sometimes just dip the dark chocolate in some protein and then into the salsa.
Right, but in reality, you usually just like to pour yourself a bowl of Panda Puffs and cover it in protein powder and then eat it.
Very true statement.
It is. Just let the people know.
Although I've gone from a few boxes down to just a bowl now, so
Right, so you're in control. But
acceptable.
I think you should let the people know your nighttime routine. That's not a problem. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Panda Puffs are delicious. They do kind of cut the roof of your mouth, though. Be careful. They're like Captain Crunch, a little
Completely
aggressive.
disagree. I think it's an unfair bias, and you should let them decide.
Just give
because
them a warning.
it literally is my favorite thing.
They are delicious.
Yeah, you bite your tongue when you talk about Panda Puffs.
They're delicious and a little vicious.
All right. All right, so now we're going to go to the workout food. Okay? We're going to say that you're now eating enough protein.
Beautiful.
Okay, we've covered that. You've eliminated dark chocolate.
No.
Or you've included it, however you want to go about that now.
Blasphemy.
And Men's Fitness had an article that was the 10 things you get wrong about working out. Okay. All very credible, and I believe a lot of the guys that were cited throughout this article on these myths, very reputable people in the industry. Number 3 brings up the concept of lifting lighter weights and higher reps in order to tone muscle.
Love that muscle tone.
Love it. I hear that all the time, especially if I'm in the gym, that's how you're gonna, you get that physique that's gonna have the muscle tone versus the bulky look.
Right.
And Jim Smith.
Smitty.
Yeah, Smitty, your boy.
Smitty. Love him. Genius. So smart.
Thank you, because that leads me to where I'm going with this. He debunks his myth by saying that a toned appearance is dependent on your level of body fat and muscle development. In other words, to see more muscle tone, you need bigger muscles and lose the fat. Now, I have to give him a lot of credit for it, but I wanted to ask you, especially as we know so much out there is generally wrong or misinformed, but this one I agree with.
I agree with it too, but I think what's important to remember is people get obsessed with this idea of, low reps is going to make you bulky. Low reps being like in between like 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Moderate reps are going to build muscle tone. High reps are going to make you lean. But then like the contrary, if you do low reps, it's just going to turn you into a box. If you do high reps, it's going to turn you into a waif. I don't even know. Trust me, it's a word. You play words with friends and they will accept waif. And it might even be, a high point word.
Do people still play Words with Friends?
I've never played Words with Friends. My
Really?
wife does it, and she's always asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't know
I
words.
played that a few years ago. I don't know if it's still around.
It still exists if you have a phone. So it's there.
In the recent update, they've actually accepted the word waif.
It's been around for a while. It's an old school term. So, the idea that if you want to get lean, you do high reps, or if you want to get big and strong, you do low reps, is misleading, because Smitty's correct. Your level of tone, if you will, is going to be highly influenced by how much muscle you have on your body, and that can be a percentage. So you don't have to be walking around you don't have to be walking around with a ton of muscle on your body. It is the ratio of muscle to fat. So the leaner you become, the more muscular, the leaner, the more shredded, the more toned, whatever adjective you're looking for to describe the look you want, you're going to look. But the idea that you should only stick to one rep range is very misleading. In reality, because you're training different energy systems, you want, through different training cycles, to work in all of the rep ranges. You want to train sometimes at a higher rep range, at a lower rep range, at a moderate rep range, with different intensity weights, with different rest intervals in between, with different frequencies, whether there are more days or less days per week. So the bigger lesson here is don't get caught into the concept that you should only stay in a higher rep range or stay in a lower rep range. You're going to want at some point in your training cycle to hit all of them, no matter what your goals are, because building strength is going to help you, building endurance is going to help you, building muscle is going to help you, regardless of the goal. Building endurance from the standpoint of shorter rest periods will help you. There's a time and a place for it. For someone like me who hates traditional cardio, loves lifting heavier weights, I will use higher reps, shorter rest periods as my form of cardio. So there is always a time and a place that you just don't want to create these in buckets of, I'm going to lift like this but not lift like this. It's good to cross modalities and train at different rep ranges.
I think it's such a valid point, especially when people get caught in what their goal is, and if their goal is fat loss and they think that lifting heavy will be so counterintuitive.
And it helps a lot of people.
It really
Going through a strength cycle during fat loss can be very beneficial, and it can even help from the eating side, because those more metabolic workouts, when you're eating less and less because you're trying to drop weight, can be really draining. Whereas if you do a strength session, you're not going to deplete your body as much, so you don't end up feeling as hungry during the day. So there's so many factors that go into it that oftentimes people will enjoy that strength phase, especially during a fat loss plan.
Okay. Well, now that leads us to the viewer question.
Yes, love the viewer questions.
Okay.
Mainly because it just means we have at least a viewer.
It's true. And this one actually is coming out of Canada.
We love Canada. Hi,
Yes.
Canada.
Good morning, Canada. Canadian Kurt.
Canadian Kurt, because we don't have Kurt's last name.
I could not find it.
Okay, Canadian Kurt.
Yeah, so
He's probably thrilled. He feels like a superhero now.
Canadian Kurt.
Canadian
I
Kurt.
want that on a shirt.
Right in there. Well, I mean, dirt.
He wants to know the benefits of MCT oil. Okay, this is not based around coffee. This is just in general, has experience with coconut oil and the benefits. However, wants to know a little bit more when it comes to strictly MCT oil.
Okay, so MCT oil, for those of you who don't know, is it's a medium chain triglyceride oil, and that's just a mouthful. So the idea behind MCT oil is that they are healthy fats, saturated fats, that are more likely to be burned as fat. So it's like eat fat to burn fat. So people are very obsessed with coconut oil, MCT oil, because they're talking about a boatload of health benefits. I love cooking in coconut oil. I will cook in MCT oil as well. I got no problem with that. Healthy fats, healthy saturated fats as well. But when a lot of people look at MCT oil and the benefit of it, what they're focused on specifically is fat loss. People are taking MCT oils because they think that it is sparking fat loss. MCT oils have actually been around for a while. When muscle milk first came out, the big thing was that it was filled with healthy fats, and these healthy fats were the MCT oils. What a lot of people don't understand, while these oils are healthy, there's not a problem having them. A lot of people assess some mystical, magical value to what they will do to fat loss, as in it will accelerate it. And there's been quite a bit of research on this, where the lift in fat loss is pretty minimal, actually. You're looking at, they did a meta-analysis with 11 different studies of fat loss of periods longer than 4 weeks. So it is people taking anywhere between like 14 to 30 plus grams of MCT oil per day. So for the third, to give you an idea, like 30 plus grams of MCT oil would be about 2-3 tablespoons. So a nice little chunk of MCT oil in your diet. And over those periods, the average additional weight loss for people who are on MCT oil versus people not on MCT oil is about a pound. So taking the MCT oil isn't bad. I'm not saying it's not healthy, not other, good benefits of having these good, healthy, saturated fats. But a lot of people will take it because they think that it's going to have a significant lift on, the fat burning process. And it actually is pretty minimal. There isn't that much of a lift. So while, scientifically it's true that these MCT oils are more likely to be burned as energy, the amount of metabolic lift that actually helps you with fat loss isn't that significant. Other potential exceptions to the rule, of course. So if someone is eating MCT oil while they are on a ketogenic diet, so we've mentioned ketogenic diets before, so that means your carbs are very, very low. We're looking at, for most people, less than 30 grams per day, so it's like a banana, and that's it. MCT oil is a way to get more fat in your diet because you need to be on a higher fat diet because you get no carbs. A lot of people will then think, well, I'm losing weight while I'm on this ketogenic diet, I'm taking in all this MCT oil, that must be the reason why I'm losing weight, but it's not. It's because you're eating fewer calories. As we discussed before, there's nothing wrong with the ketogenic diet. There are many health benefits of being on a lower carb diet, but if you're going apples to apples in terms of weight loss, being on a ketogenic diet is not more superior from a fat loss standpoint than a diet with more carbohydrates, as long as protein and calories are matched. So the amount of protein you have in your diet, the amount of calories, are, if they're equal, the amount of fat you're going to lose on a ketogenic diet is going to be the same as you would lose on any other diet. So, sometimes you don't want to misplace the emphasis, and that's what a lot of people do. They look at that, I'm taking MCT oil, I'm on a ketogenic diet, it's got to be the MCT oil. It's not, it's how much you're eating during the course of the day. So if you want to take MCT oil, it is just fine. If you were taking it because you believe, Kurt, that it's going to give you some fat burning magic, the actual addition of fat burning is going to be very minimal. So I leave the choice up to you. Again, for a lot of people, just cooking with coconut oil is going to do the trick. Most coconut oil is about 60% MCT oil anyway. But if you need to get pure MCT oil, which is probably going to cost you more money,
right,
because it's usually sold through supplement companies, I'd save the money and just buy more real food, which is usually, I think, what I tell people. I'm all about just buying more food.
And a lot of it, I mean, it sounds like it still goes back to something we talk about all the time is adherence and what's going to work for you.
Right.
Whether or not it's MCT oil
Great point.
that's causing fat loss or the ketogenic diet versus like for me, a ketogenic diet, I have the ability within myself to actually, I would think I could go on it and stick to it because I can set that goal, but I would be miserable. There's no ounce of that. I love carbs too much.
Me too.
To have 30 grams a day, I would basically be stuck at just about half a cup of Panda Puffs.
That's it.
And no more carbs all day long. And what I would think would happen ultimately, as it may work for a little while, but sustaining that progress over the long term won't happen. Will happen was that half a cup of Panda Puffs will turn into a cup. And then all of a sudden I start overshooting calories because I just can't maintain it.
Right.
It will not work for me. Just like I can't have 7 meals a day, all of that. So that's very interesting. So I particularly would probably save my money, not get MCT oil.
I'm saving my money too.
A lot of people love it, and some people prefer it.
And if you do, great. Like, sometimes it's a do what works for you. And there's nothing wrong with that, but know the difference between you like it, you feel good on it, versus I'm doing it because I'm believing something isn't true. And that's really the whole purpose of this show. It's like, we just want you to know why you're doing what you're doing and be doing it for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons, or, just buying into something that might have you wasting a lot of money for no reason whatsoever. Save your money. That's what we're here. We're here to save people money.
I would hope so.
Yeah, it's good. We are the new coupon book.
Oh, we're like a penny saver.
I hope more than that. I mean, recently we've told people not to buy MCT oil, not to buy BCAAs. We're not saving pennies. We're saving some serious money.
Apple
cider vinegar. That's out the door.
Unless you want to
well.
catch gnats.
Right.
Gotcha.
We told people they don't even have bulletproof coffee, which just makes us really seem like we hate MCT oil, but we're just saving you from brain octane. It's a waste.
All right, well, that wraps up another episode of That's Healthy, Right? And stay tuned for some more.